here, the top 9 21st century learning trends and why they all suck. It's time for me to bash you over the head. No. However, what I want to do really quickly, because I've worked both on the educator side and the student side, thanks to these opportunities, with all these new technologies, new tech coming into the classroom, and there are lots of things that teachers are doing right, but there are also some really common mistakes that I'd like for us to avoid from now on, please. So we're going to go over those. Let's get started. 15 minutes. Here we go. Number 1, tech as a subject. And this is a very old idea, the idea of the computer lab. And we have to go and learn to use computers. There's value in typing class. If I didn't have typing class, I'd be flailing all over the place. However, we know start button here, minimize, maximize, all the other mises, they go there. We know how to use these things. Some kids might need a little bit of help, but for the vast majority of the time, computers are no longer these new things. They are tools. Technology, it's all tools that we integrate into our classroom and all of our other subjects. We don't need classes on how to use books. We know you open it, you turn the page. People don't look at those and go, oh, that need a manual, but I don't know how to read it. Manuals are books too. We know these technologies. We understand how they work. Integrate them. Integration does not mean, students, you don't have to write your essay on pen and paper today. You're going into the computer lab to type it in Microsoft Word. I will project a PowerPoint on the LCD screen. Look at me, techno-savvy. No, integrate, be creative. We got to do something beyond that, please. Number 2, the teacher is the dictator. This idea of, I am the teacher, the students will pay attention to me because they have to, for I am the teacher. Not true. In fact, these days you're competing with not just friends and social, but brands all over the place and corporations who spend millions of dollars and work very, very hard to subtly adjust our minds. All modern day educators must also be salespeople. You must be marketers. You can't just assume you're competing. It's easy to sit there and go, la, 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 there's nothing here, and pay attention, please, go look at me. Doesn't work all that well. You have to market yourself. You have to pitch, essentially, in order to get yourself there. And that's what this is all about. Number 3, and this is something that peeves me very, very much, and this is the idea of if they can't, these kids, they're on Facebook. That's social. They're on Twitter. They're birds. That can be messy. They're on MySpace. No one uses that anymore, but whatever. Block it all off. Block here, block here, block here. I was a student of Michelle Pearson, and I gave her headaches every single day, proving that these blocks are not effective. And I will tell you, they're not effective. Kids they do get around these blocks. They are on Twitter, they're on Facebook, they're on these sites no matter what. So what do? You don't fight it. You get there too. Now I understand the blocks aren't entirely teachers' decisions. That's the higher powers. However, there are teachers who are doing some absolutely brilliant things with Facebook pages, going home outside of the school, updating these things, and building that community and that interaction with their students outside the classroom, on their home computers. Very, very exciting stuff with these tech. Don't fight it. You go with it, you get yourself there. Number 4, I must know everything. It's easy to assume there's so many tech and so many wires and buttons and levers, and I don't know it, so I can't talk about it, can't teach it. However, you have in front of you, fortunately, a giant audience of people who live this. All of these students live and breathe technology, and they sit there, and they will quite often raise their hands and say, no, you're wrong. I remember in 7th grade when Ms. Pearson came to the front of the class and said, so Historic Denver wants us to make a brochure for the Colfax Marathon. And we said, oh, no, podcast, because that's new tech, that's what we're living, and we're enjoying it. And it might not have been something she was working with at the time, didn't completely understand it. But we wanted to do that because we were living it. You don't have to know everything in order to teach it. Number 5, technology is unreliable. And this is entirely techno-fear, the cowering of, oh my goodness, there are too many buttons. I'm afraid of buttons, don't want buttons. I will go out on a limb here, and I will say that the internet is not evil. And I will also go out on a limb even further, could easily fall off, especially 5 years ago, and say that Wikipedia is also not evil. In fact, if you use it right, it's absolutely one of the most brilliant resources you can use in research. In fact, and here we have the Wikipedia page for Lady Gaga, extremely academic, yes, I think so. And we can see what are highlighted are these citations. And so we have all of these facts here that Wikipedia is known for. You can go up there and vandalize and write all kinds of stuff that you want. However, now everything needs citations. Everything must have that little link next to it where you can see where this information is coming from. Sometimes there are 2 or even 3 links from there. And you can go down and you can see where people are getting this information and find for yourself these incredible resources and all of these different pieces for your research. And it's brilliant. If there's not a citation, it'll say that. If there's something wrong up there, it's usually down within an hour. They've got this down to a science. There are hundreds of people who live in basements going Wikipedia, wrong, down, That's what it's for. If you know how to fact check and you teach your students to fact check, then you're not stuck in here you are books, you have 10 books, you can use those. Databases, not quite sure what those are, but you have databases. Big old shelf of encyclopedias, there you are, and you end up with 52 papers that all say the exact same thing, except one's double-spaced, fancy. Let them get something different. Let them get out of that box. Number 6, technology is expensive, and I've only got $2 and a bus ticket in my pocket. No, I will not waste my time telling you why it's not true, because it's not. It's not true at all. Technology can be very, very cost-effective if you know what you're doing. WordPress, the #1 blogging content management platform in the world, powers 30 million sites. CNN, New York Times, TechCrunch, Wall Street Journal, government organizations use it. Schools are using it to power their websites. WordPress.com lets you set up free sites. You can host WordPress.org on your own server if you want to. Really get techno-savvy there. But it's free. And it gives an instant voice and extremely simple web publishing to absolutely anyone. PBWorks, formerly known as PBWiki, another brilliant tool. I go back to Michelle Pearson. We need a tally. We need a little chalkboard right here so we can chalk how many times I mention you. Just tally. But PBWorks, PBWiki, brilliant, brilliant thing because it allows for collaborative websites essentially among students. And so we did stuff in her class where we'd have questions that be posted, post down responses, go through that. Or you'd post up your own resources and have lists of links and things. Really cool stuff can go on there. Also, Audacity, on the top right, free, open source audio editor. We use it for podcasts constantly. Really cool program. It's extremely powerful. There are $1,000 programs from Adobe you can go buy, but you can get it for free. Audacity. I use it every single day. iMovie comes on every Mac. You get GarageBand on every Mac. That entire iLife thing, you get a MacBook and you're golden. You've got everything there. Skype. We live in this incredible landscape right now where, for free, you can be face-to-face with, well, a screen, of course, in between, around the world, an entirely different culture, an entirely different country, and these groups of people. There is no better immersion than that, other than flying all the way across the world. And it's free. This is incredible kind of stuff, and it doesn't take anything out of your pocket. Finally, Google Docs. Have any of you seen the newer versions of Google Docs? Because it's so, so cool. You can literally watch in real time as people type. And I use it every single day with my team. We'll sit there and we'll collaborate on documents and we'll type, and you can see she's revising here, he's revising here, little chat on the side, post links, figure stuff out. It's essentially the idea of having 4 people in front of a refrigerator with the little letter magnets and rearranging, and it's just like that, but far less twisty. And so it's absolutely lovely. Google Docs, it's free. This is all free, and it's all extremely powerful stuff. Tech does not have to hurt your wallet pain. Number 7, so I've tried to dispel the techno fear a little bit here. Tried to get you out of this box. However, sometimes people go from techno fear into techno joy, and they go a little too far into techno joy. And they go tool crazy. Too many tools. In that case, the only tool here is you. I had a librarian in my high school experience who would, probably on a weekly basis, would do presentations for us and say, I have new tools for you, lots and lots of tools. This one does the same thing as PowerPoint, but its logo is blue. This one too, but it makes your slides go down a little spirally thing here. This one made a jam, this one up into space. Too many tools. We're all sitting there going, they all do the same thing. Why tool death? No, you can't do that. If you focus too much on the tools, you lose what you're building with them. Merlin Mann of 43folders.com, good friend of mine, has an absolutely brilliant analogy that I love. You do need a hammer to be a carpenter, basic knowledge. However, owning 500 hammers or a $5,000 hammer will not make you a better carpenter. Can't get lost in the tools. That's a bad idea. Number 8, I must teach everything. This is another common idea. And this one actually puzzles me slightly. Because we spend so much time as teachers thinking, I want something new, I want technology, I want innovation, I want to do these new incredible things that the world allows us to do. So let's make a rubric, shall we? And you block out every single thing you do. I had a project in high school that was students, the rubric, I always need the rubric. You need to create a PowerPoint presentation, new tech there, PowerPoint with 10 slides, exactly 10 slides, 3 bullet points on each slide, title here, page number here, picture on the right, little clip art man who goes like this. It actually included clip art. And then we ended up with the exact same thing from everybody. You can't always teach everything. 1, because that leaves 0 room for innovation, and 2, because it's boring and that's no fun. So what's really exciting is when you can leave room for that flexibility. And you can leave room for people to say, what if I do this? What if I do that? Go beyond. And that's what also number 9 is as well. If people are being asked, can we work? This is actually something that I thought was absolutely extremely strange. Trying to teach everything, trying to teach absolutely everything to all the students, they'd be raising their hands going, can we work now? I cannot think of a question that any teacher, any educator in any occupation would like more than to have students sitting there and say, yeah, I want to work. I want to go. I want to do this thing. Because, like I said, they get it. They get this tech. They understand all of these tools. If you sit there hammering over their heads, telling them what every single button does, get bored. I mean, there is a little bit of a contrast here when you have sitting around giving gifts. The adults get the brand new technological gift. Ooh, manual here, read through every single page, figure out what every button does. Kids, on the other hand, a new gift manual here, cling wrap, take it off the cling wrap and throw it out the window. Tech, no joy, I just want to push everything, it'll explode, I don't care. They understand how it works. It's somewhat intuition, I think. And so you don't fix what ain't broke. You can help the kids who need help, but over-teaching, not good plan. And now we have number 9, and it's on the same vein, really. I must plan everything. And this is one that irks me very, very much. And this is the idea of every single project will be the exact same. And every single student will have the exact same outline, and I will know far beforehand when I come to class exactly how things will work. However, study after study is done that proves that the best kind of learning is self-initiated learning. And the best, businesses are completely reorganizing everything they do, the complete philosophies, old things being thrown out the window because they're understanding these new ideas. Office spaces are changing, education needs to change with it. If people get to choose, maybe not exactly the topic they're learning, can't always do that, but if you can choose how you're being learned. I need to figure out a little more learning first. What you're learning, how you're learning it, and how you want to learn, how you best learn. That is where the power comes. That's where that real passion is arriving, because when you can tell every student, all right, you're going to do this, and it'll all look the same, and have fun. But if you're ready there with that flexibility, and you allow students to come up and ask those questions of, well, can I, or how can I, or what if? You allow them to have that original thought, and you teach them to take what you've given them and run with it, and go out of that box and learn and try to really push and break these technologies, break the rules. That is where the passion is, and that's where it all connects, and that's where we find the best kind of learning in absolutely any century. So I've been very sneaky here, and I've put together, we have 2 minutes left, and that's why I want to do, except I'm not clicking. Clicking. There we go. Now we're clicking. There we go. End of slide. Now, I also left time for questions because I'm sneaky that way. And I know, is that something we're planning on doing? However, I think it's a good idea. Let's do, so if there are questions, we can do it. Otherwise, we've saved time. It's right there, at Dave Moyer. Handy slide, that's right. And you can do that there. And what's our Twitter hashtag, by the way, if we're tweeting for Teacher Librarian Day?
TLD11.
All right, pound TLD11. Tweet now. Will be trending topic. Tweet. And that's all for me. So thank you all so very much for your, question.
If you suggest to a teacher one piece of technology or one
thing that they ought to learn that they don't know because we were dinosaurs, where would you suggest they start? What one thing would you start them on?
It's interesting because it all comes around the same mentality, I think. And I work in web publishing constantly. The logo for WordCast is up there. We do web publishing, news, blogging, social media, Twitter. And it's all the exact same idea, I think. So once you learn one, you know them all. If you know how to make a WordPress blog, if you know how to tweet, you instantly know how to Facebook and buzz and bling and it's all the exact same idea. So I would say start with a blog, start with a Twitter, start at any of those services, and just get the idea of publishing online and having that technological side to what you're saying and that voice, because it's extremely, extremely different from writing a paper, handing it out. You can have the world hear you. And once you get that down, it all comes naturally. Is that it? All right, we're at a minute left, and that's fine. Thank you all so much, thank you so very much for your time. This has been fantastic, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the sessions today.